going to be okay, but the problem area that we have, which is why we needed to remove all this, was this side here. And as you can see, metal missing, all sorts going on here, and also this thick section here. So we're going to need to work out what needs to be here, what needs to be corrected, and put it right and weld it back up again. So we've started drilling out some of the spot welds. Hopefully we've gone back to a part where the metal is pretty good, and we're going to remove this section and maybe remove part of this just to see what's going on behind here. So we've got back to proper metal at the top, and now we need to work our way to the bottom and remove any of this rust that we see here, or rot. So in order to gain access to this area, we've actually had to cut a section out of this top plate, which was perfectly okay, and at some point we need to refabricate it to put it back in, or we might be able to use the part that we've taken out and rebuild that part once we've repaired what we can see at the moment. So now we've removed the other part of this top section here, so this is all now clean metal. We've got some filling metal to do here just to build it back up again, and some cleaning up to do here, but we're still working on this lower section, but slowly but surely. I mean, this metal here is actually quite strong. Although it looks very rusty, it's actually quite strong, so it looks like we might be able to cut straight down as long as we can get some implement in there with which to cut it, and then look at fabricating what we need to fabricate. I'm not so sure that we haven't got to cut across here and cut this bottom section off here, because there's a few blow through holes, so I think it's actually quite thin, so we might actually be cutting that off, because there could be a seam weld over there, and it might be easier to manufacture that part than to try and repair anything. So we've done a little bit more work on the support that comes down the side of the windscreen, and we've removed as much metal as we can at the moment. We're going to have to remove a little bit more of the shelf, I think, to do a full repair on this, but this is just a quick video to show you where we are at the moment. So as you can see, we've taken more metal away, we've taken more of the top shelf away as well, to get back to something a little bit more decent. We're getting there slowly, but there's still a lot of work to do. The welds that we did from the outside on the outer side of this, where you can see the small bubbles of weld, they actually look okay, and we can smooth them down. It's a bit decorative really to smooth them down, but we can do that. We can clean up this area and look at start fabricating some components for it. So unfortunately, as you can see, things have got worse and worse, and we've had to cut further and further back, and we're going to have to build this up in sections, I think, now, because I don't think it's possible to fold one piece to do all the bits that were originally round here. So we've actually cut the nut out on this side as well, because that was pretty rotten, and so this was a repair that we've done previously, but actually when you look at it, the back of it's pretty rotten. So we're going to make a new plate to go in here, and then start building up all the way around this area. And as you can see, we've cut down that section there as well now, where the lip is. Right, this is the first piece of the 3 pieces of metal, or 4 pieces of metal, that are needed to repair this section. We pretty much got this lined up. We're going to put a few tack welds down, and then hammer it into slightly better shape than it is at the moment, and then fully weld it. So that's that bit now welded in place, and now we're moving on to the next bit, but I'll just show you the weld inside this area. So you can see it's heavily welded on the inside, and it was welded on the outside as well, but we also just cleaned it up on the outside. So this is the second piece of metal, part of 4 that we need to repair this area, and we've put some plug weld holes ready for it to be plug welded in. and we're going to put a few tack welds down which will help us fabricate this side section a little bit better than it is at the moment, but it's pretty much there. So that's the next piece of metal in, and we also put the stud in on the front side, as you can see, and that's been welded around there too. So all we've got to do now is put the last piece of metal on that goes around all this area, just to finish it off, and then rebuild the shelf. So this is the next piece that fits onto this side. We've got it all clamped in place. We've got a few plug welds on this side to do, and then the rest of the plug welds will be done from this side. One thing I thought I should show you just before I put it in, because it wasn't very easy to see when it was clamped in the car, is this is the shape that we had to produce in order to do that repair. So obviously that took quite a long time to do. A bit too quick. So that's the final piece in place, or the third piece of metal in place. We've still got the shelf to rebuild, but that's pretty simple compared with the stuff that we've had to do here. So it's been plug welded all the way down here on the other side. We've done seam welds on top of the three pieces of material along here. If there are any proud bits when we come to fit the windscreen, we might have to knock them down a bit more, but they've gone in pretty deep, so it's not bad. And we've left this slightly proud here as well, just to give it a bit more extra strength. And this is from the other side, so all the plug welds have been ground right down now, so a bit of paint on there to stop it going rusty. So we've built up a shelf part, slightly smaller than it needs to be actually, but I'm sure we can get the weld to cover up the differences. But we're just going to put a few tack welds down and then seam weld it. So that's the final bit of the shelf put back in again, and all we need to do is a little bit more cleaning up where it welds to the upright. I've run out of discs, so I need a new disc for that.